You're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Ryan Hill.
I'm John Galantis.
You can find us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028, or you can email us at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com.
That's right, and you guys can help us keep the conversation moving forward by supporting the show. You can share it online with your friends and family. Leave us a good 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasting content from. We're going to leave a couple of links right there in the description, so you can do just that.
I have something I have to get off my chest.
Go for it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's some lint. You got some lint on your shirt.
No, not
there
that.
You go.
Not that, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
We are deep in the trenches of rehearsals for the play.
It's play season.
Deep in the trenches.
Yeah.
You're in the play.
I'm in the play.
I'm in the play.
I'm Marley and Marley, avarice and greed.
Yeah, you're just the one. Just Marley.
Just
Jacob Marley.
But I'm still doing the song. The from the Muppets Christmas
That may
Carol.
or may not be in the show. We cannot confirm that. You'll have to attend the show and see. Anyway, plug for that Christmas Carol coming up here at Clearview Church, December the 7th and the 8th. Tickets are available, $5 a piece. Let us know if you need some, 252-582-5028. Anyway, my gripe, which I think you maybe witnessed this at rehearsal, I am playing Scrooge.
Right.
In the show. I got a lot of lines. Got a lot of scenes, got a lot of blocking to remember, okay? So I'm trying to, when I'm on stage, I'm trying to be in the moment. I'm trying to be in the character. I'm trying to, all that training, I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing.
So are you not directing, or are you just...
I am also directing.
Okay.
So myself, Nicole Shah, Dr. Shah's wife,
right,
my wife, Elizabeth, and then another woman in our church, we are the team of directors. And also, all four of us are in the show,
okay,
which is something that we've never done before.
Who is Elizabeth playing?
Her character doesn't have a name, but she's a mother of like a couple of street kids that walk through. She shows up twice in the show.
Okay.
So we in the show, I'm rehearsing. We're going through the lines. I'm trying to remember my lines because we just went off book. I'm trying to remember everything, and other people who are there looking at set changes, who are there looking at costumes, who are there looking at props, will come up and ask questions to me while I'm trying to rehearse. So I'm trying to deliver.
The scene?
So I'm trying to deliver lines, and they're like, "Hey, about this scene, like when you bring on that chair, what are you envisioning there? Are you using?"
And the scene's going on in rehearsal?
Like, can you ask me this literally any other time?
Are you for real? They really doing that?
Yeah.
I could understand them coming up like...
No, in the middle.
Wow.
In the middle. I was like, can we, or maybe it's like at a break between two scenes.
Yeah, I thought that was the gripe.
It's really difficult when you're when you're focused in the zone, trying to remember everything as your character, to then be like, yes, let me answer your question.
No, I thought...
Now I'm Ebenezer Scrooge.
No, I thought your gripe, because I thought it was a perfectly valid gripe, was that in between scenes... I'm still trying to focus. I'm trying to think through what I'm doing, and they're calling up. But they're coming on stage during the scene.
It's rare, but it has happened.
That's wild, Ryan.
Yep.
That's wild. That's not even a gripe. That's a travesty. That's chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, hey, we're in the middle of running a scene. Can you ask me this later, or ask someone else?
I remember those days. It's unavoidable with you, but with me, with worship team, there were times where we'd be doing concert training, and we would have or concert rehearsal, I should say, and we'd be switching out musicians. So it got to be chaotic because there were some musicians who were just sitting there waiting for their time. We've cleaned that up now to where during rehearsal, everybody's involved at every. Now we still have people who break off and talk, and you got to wrangle them back. But it's not. It's a shadow of what it used to be. Like it used to be like. People were just sitting there talking. We had to go round them up to the church because they were just sitting there. Well, the play, you can't.
It's unavoidable. If you're not in that scene, you're just waiting for your time to go on stage.
But there's also, instead of there being like 5 of them, there's like 50 of them. There's like 50 or 60 people who are just up.
75.
Just sitting there waiting for their time to go on. So yeah, they're going to be all over the place. They're going to be, and so then you're having to ask them, hey guys, I know that you're here for most of the night and you might not do anything for another 40 minutes, but sit down and be quiet.
For the love of heaven, be quiet.
I can't believe people are coming up on the stage during the scene.
It's rare. I think that only happened once or twice. But 100% in between scenes, like when I walk off stage and I'm waiting for my next entrance, they're like, can I just talk to you real quick? Can I just? No, you can't talk to me real quick. No, write it down and ask me later.
I am in a nightie and slippers. I
have a nightcap on right now, and I'm wearing a nightgown.
I was watching you last night during the rehearsal, and I was like, I know good and well he's not in a nightie for this entire play.
For most of it, yes.
You start as Scrooge and you look pretty dapper. I'm not gonna lie, like the black suit, the red scarf, the top hat. I was like, dang, that actually looks kind of cool. And then I was like, I know he's gonna be in the nightie for the scene with Marley and with the go. But I was like, at some point he's gonna put his clothes back on
At the very end, but that's it. Because the whole thing happens in one night. Spoiler alert if you don't know anything about A Christmas Carol. It happens all in one night.
Oh man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it at least comfortable, or are you like a little awkward?
No, it's pretty comfortable.
You're fine. You don't mind being in a nightgown.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna have like gym shorts on underneath it. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's crazy. Y'all don't. This is maybe some unsolicited advice that y'all didn't know you needed, but don't go up onto the stage while an actor is performing a scene and ask him questions.
Don't interrupt.
That's
please.
ludicrous.
Please don't interrupt.
Imagine like if you did that the night of the show, how weird that would feel and how awkward that would be for you. Just take that into rehearsals.
Bring that energy.
Yeah, that's just be normal during rehearsal.
Dr. Shah's been on the stage for a while.
true.
He grew up doing plays. I wonder if he's ever encountered anybody
Let's ask
violating that rule of the
Let's
theater.
ask him if someone ever came up to him while he was preaching a sermon to ask a question.
I know the answer to that.
What?
The answer is yes.
What?
Yeah.
We gotta hash that out.
Write in and let us know if you've experienced that. Theater nerds out there unite. 252-582-5028. Or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's going on, listeners? My name is John.
And I'm David.
And we hope you are enjoying the podcast thus far.
You know, we really appreciate how many of you download the podcast every day.
Right.
But we also want to remind you that we are first and foremost a radio show.
Clearview Today is actually syndicated through the Truth Network. And we just want to let you know right now that in addition to hosting the all-time best Christian talk show of all time,
Hashtag Clearview Today.
Hashtag Clearview Today, the Truth Network also, as it turns out, has an extensive library of Christian programming.
We really love everything they're doing at the Truth Network because the whole goal is to encourage, challenge, confront, and uplift listeners with the life-changing truth of Jesus Christ through Christian Talk Radio.
And listen, we know we are not the only show wanting to expand its audience. So if you have a vision for your show or for your ministry, why don't you consider syndicating your show through the Truth Network? Because they rely on decades of experience of self-syndication with a full array of features for your long-form or short-form content.
Make sure you visit the Truth Network online today at truthnetwork.com, or you can give them a call at 336-759-0363. Again, that's 336-759-0363. Well, John, are you ready?
I was born ready, my friend. Let's hop right back in.
All right.
Welcome back to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. If you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028.
That's right, and we're here once again in the Clearview Today studio with Dr. Abadan Shah, who's a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, professor at Carolina University, author, full-time pastor, and the host of today's show. Speaking of being a full-time pastor, Dr. Shah, do you ever have people come up and try to interact with you during the preaching time?
You're in the middle of a message behind the pulpit on stage,
And
someone's like, I need to go tell him this right now.
And so they get up out of the pew, walk up to the pew, step up there, and just be like, hey, Dr. Shah, can I ask a question? Do dogs go to heaven?
Now,
Hey,
you
dog,
do know it happened to me once.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the intro. I was
Yes,
there is one sort of recent example.
I
of
meant,
this.
I meant to ask you that, but I didn't ask you who. Say it in my ear who it was. Just say in my ear. Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
I think I might have been in the broadcast room when that happened.
Yeah, 100% that
Okay.
happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Has it ever happened before that?
No.
Okay. So it came about.
Well. I had one lady argue with me while I was preaching.
Here at Clearview?
Why? you were
No,
preaching?
this was when we were in our first building. So you're going back to like 2000 and probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
Probably 2003.
Okay.
And I'm preaching, okay? I'm up there preaching. And it was something about, Paul's commandment to women submit to your own husband as and the Lord. And her husband is sitting next to her. Her kids are there too. Their kids are there too. And she started with me, argument. well, why is it that and what if your husband is not the person like he's supposed to be?
With her husband sitting
He's
right
sitting
there?
Yeah.
What?
Or something of that sort. She wasn't as direct against her husband, but she was saying pretty much like, what if he's not like totally doing what Paul expects husbands to do?
Like she thought she was on a podcast or something in the middle of preaching, like we were going to have a discussion.
And like we were in our old building.
Right.
So this is going back to like 2002, 3, somewhere there, maybe 3. And I could see our people at church. I mean, they just turned and they were looking at her like, some of our older people. Pretty much, I would say, other than maybe 3 or 4 who are still left, all of them have passed on into glory. But I remember them looking at her like,
It's kind of an accepted thing. Like, you don't talk while the pastor's talking.
Well, so,
Maybe an amen every now and then. But
you could go amen.
this isn't like a
glory,
dialogue
hallelujah.
happening.
No. Exactly. So I think there's some people who maybe don't go to church very often, or maybe they're not even Christians, and they're wondering like, what's the I would say it's different in every church, but far across the board, you don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
I think some churches would put up with it, but like here, it's like you don't get up, and you can ask the pastor questions.
Yeah, afterwards.
You can't get up.
It's at that moment our ushers get promoted to hushers.
Yeah. Oh, very nice, Ryan. I got to give you that one.
Thank you very
friend.
much. I appreciate
All right, never
that.
mind. I'll try to give it to you, but
well, I tried it too.
yeah. Oh well.
Okay.
We'll get some
That's all right.
technicians
Silent
that
applause.
it was silent applause. So that's
okay.
where you kind of take them into the back, into like the sacristy or something, and you just say, "Hey, look, you can't do that." You know what I'm saying?
Or you
Don't do
push
it. Yeah,
Sacristy?
Sacristy.
What is sacristy?
So that's a room in the church where sacred vessels and vestments are kept, and where the clergy. Okay, there's the applause for Ryan's joke. You know what? I'll take the Secret Word Award. Thank you so much, folks.
No, but you didn't. You said the word, but we all were like,
the
what
sound
is
effects are
that?
What was that?
Wow. They're all delayed coming through now. Everything's piled on top of each other.
We got to get rid of that computer.
Wild.
So a sacristy is a room in the church where sacred vessels and vestments are kept, and where the clergy vests. I don't know what that means.
Investments.
Where the vestments.
Like
what they
the
wear.
clothes.
Oh, okay. That's where the sacristy. That's probably where when you were in London.
Yes.
That's where you.
100%.
I was about to say that, but that's
yeah.
like my dad's church had a vestry.
Okay.
It didn't function as a vestry where they would put their vestments on, but since our church was built by the British and it had sort of an Anglican type feel to it, so why are you laughing?
Because I tried really hard to get away with sacristy. I thought that would be a great
Sacristy.
So y'all didn't call it the sacristy. It was the vestry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vestry.
Vestry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to pick better words.
I know. Well, it's the word I was given. I'm no longer in charge of the secret word.
These words are so uncommon. We have to maybe demote them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Can we do that, David?
But don't make them easy now. Don't make it like watermelon.
And would be a good one.
Don't make it like spider. You know what I'm saying? You understand? You got me? Did people ever do that at your dad's church where they're like, Pastor, I'd like to just say.
So it happened one time I was there, and this was sort of a business meeting situation where remember I talked about the Christmas Carol thing. Okay, so Christmas carols, you go to everybody's home and you sing on Christmas Eve. It's an all-night thing, and people expect you to be there.
They get mad. That was
They
the one
get
thing
mad
you told me.
when you don't.
If you don't come, they go get upset.
In America, if you came, we would be mad.
Yeah.
Over there, if you
Get
don't
off
go,
my porch at 11:30 at night.
no, this is like 3 o'clock.
in the morning. So you're waking them up
3:30.
out of, or do they go to bed knowing that you're coming later?
Yeah, they go to bed knowing we're coming. They leave the light on the porch and stuff like that. They have food ready.
Really?
They have
Wow.
tea already, like boiling. So
they
they kind
love
of.
the Christmas carols.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Now, guess what? I went last time. Last year when my mom died.
Yeah.
I was there in September, and I asked him. I was like, "So how does Christmas carols go?" Well, we don't do it at night anymore. I was like, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah."
man.
The world's changed. A lot of guys don't want to come out. I mean, they
Wow.
want to go bed at like 12 o'clock at night. So we go until like 11.
Oh, okay.
I said, what a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, somebody missed going to this guy's house. I can even see him right now.
Uh-oh.
You can remember him?
Oh, 100%. I can remember that occasion when that happened.
Wow.
Let me ask you this. Did they genuinely miss going to his house, or did they, air quotes, miss going to his house?
No, they generally missed.
Okay.
They messed
they
up.
just forgot.
Like an
They
honest
forgot.
mistake. Okay.
And so he wanted to take it up with your dad in the middle of a sermon.
Not the sermon. It was sort of like the business meeting
Okay.
where we were discussing other things.
Okay.
Okay. And he stood up.
He had some business to
This is at
discuss.
the end of the service.
He was about to stand on some business.
So imagine this is like about in my dad's church there were 2 services.
Okay.
And so one at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10, and 10:30 to about 11:30. So 11:30 service ends, and there's a business meeting, and usually it went to like 11:40, 11:45.
Every Sunday business meeting?
No,
Just sometimes.
sometimes,
Okay.
not even every month.
Okay.
Sometimes. So he stands up, and we have. He says, "We have a complaint to make about this." My dad already knew what had happened, and he already fussed at one of the leaders and said, "Hey, we cannot miss going to people's homes. They decorate the homes." They prepare the food. They expect us to be there. You need to be there.
Right.
Every member deserves that visit. So he's already addressed it. He stands up. So we have, it's a big guy. He's like, we have a problem here, and I want to address that right now. And my dad's like, sit down.
Really? He said, he told him to sit down.
And he sat down.
Oh, I love it.
The thing was with my dad, there was so much respect for him because of his love for them that they knew this is the man you should respect.
Yeah.
Because look at what he's done. So it was not there was no contest.
Yeah.
He was going to sit down. He sat down.
Yeah.
He sat down.
I just
you go.
imagine
He
this
sat
big
down.
blustering guy like, we have some business to discuss. And your dad, sit down. And he's just kind of sheepishly like, yes, sir.
Your dad had a pretty booming voice, though. Like, I mean,
He did.
even when
Yeah,
I
he
saw
did.
pictures and videos of your dad, like he wasn't like a scrawny guy, but neither was he like a muscle bound. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
super physically imposing.
Yeah.
But
not
to hear him
necessarily.
preach, I was like, his voice was surprisingly
Yeah, he
deep.
had a
I did
powerful
not
voice.
expect if you'd shown me his picture, I wouldn't have expected that his voice would come out of him.
Yeah.
I have a tape of him preaching back in the mid 70s. Okay, so I'm going to bring that one day and we'll
Yeah,
play
I would
it.
love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I
I would love that.
Yeah, and it's loud. It is very dramatic, and he goes between Hindi and English, so you can hear parts of English coming through, and he is very emotional in that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We this whole thing came about because last night Ryan was at play rehearsal.
We're deep in play season right now.
Yeah, and they were doing a scene. So this was not between scenes. He's on stage doing a scene, and people are coming up to him asking questions. And I wondered if that had ever happened to you when you're like doing the thing that we're here to do. It's not like I caught you after the sermon and asked you a question. It's like right now I'm doing a scene. I'm in character. The scene's going on. You're coming up to me, interrupting the scene
Yeah.
and asking questions.
Yeah, never happened other than that lady who spoke while I'm preaching. And there was this one time, this dude, yeah, he didn't like say anything to me. He's still around town. Anyways, so he he doesn't listen to the radio show. I can talk about it. He probably won't even remember. I doubt he remembers. So he would come to our church because he had a benefactor there.
Ooh.
Benefactor in the sense that he would employ him time to time or give him a few bucks. So this guy would come. And he came and sat in the very front.
That's a great way to feel important. I do some part-time work for this guy, but he's not my boss or he's not a guy I help. He's my benefactor.
Yeah. He was a benefactor.
Okay.
So, and this guy, the benefactor, the guy who gave money away, had like 3 or 4 guys like this that would always come looking for him. And so this particular Sunday, this gentleman who would typically come and sit towards the front, but more than likely he would be late, so he would sit in the back. And then there were times that he didn't come. This was one of those Sundays when he did not come. So one of these guys came and sat on the second row, and I would come down from the pulpit because it was such a large church. Like we had 500 seats.
This was the original building.
Original building.
Okay.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our first church that we were at had more seats than
The one we just moved out
We
of.
just moved out of.
That's incredible.
That's crazy.
I'm used to preaching to big empty churches. Now it's not, which is praise God for that.
Yeah.
Amen.
But anyways, so I would have a podium set by the front row, like a little music stand type podium. So I would come back down from the pulpit, which was pretty massive, and I would come stand over there and preach. So I'm like, I'm so far away. and you guys are scattered, sitting where you sat with your parents like 80 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm coming down.
That's
there.
the thing. Is if it can sit 500 people, you can rest assured there's going to be people toward the edges, toward the back. I'm like, everybody just.
And it didn't make any
down
sense
front.
It didn't make any sense. Why? Until one day I found out it was like, oh, that's where I sat with my parents 80 years ago,
is our
70
spot.
years ago. This was our spot. I'm like, oh, that makes sense because I'm like 2 people here. I knew exactly where they would sit. 4 over there, 3 here, 1 outlier over there by himself.
If you went to that building today, and it was still laid out the exact same, you could point out where each of those people sat?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this dude came and sat on the second row right in front of my podium.
Which was unheard of.
Unheard of. So here's what happens. 5 minutes into my sermon, he's like, where's my money daddy?
What?
Yeah. So he wants to know if the guy who gives money away
here.
or the one who hires me time to time for odd jobs is there. Guess what he does?
What?
I'm standing here preaching to this congregation. This is the second row. He's sitting here. He stands up and he stands and he looks for the guy.
Looking around?
Exactly like that. And I'm standing here preaching. And the guy is in front of me looking
for some cash. Where's my daddy? Where's my sugar daddy? Okay, wait. Is the benefactor still living?
He did. No, he's gone.
Gone. Okay. Okay. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
So the guy who stood up.
He was a born
still-
again saved guy. The benefactor was.
Okay.
But the guy who stood up looking for the money, I don't know anything much about him other than
He wanted his money.
He wanted his money.
and I was like, and I'm preaching. It's like, so Jesus went by the Sea of Galilee, and he's just like, exactly. But keep in mind, he is like second row, right? This is the
Like,
first row.
dead
He's
front.
right here standing
Directly in front of you.
with 500 seats. 475 of them are empty. And he finds a spot right in front of me.
In front of you. Why would he even sit there? Why wouldn't he just look in the back for the money daddy? Why would he come up front, sit down,
I know.
and then
And so this went on for like good 10 seconds. But when you're up there, 10 seconds is a long time.
it feels like an
Long
eternity.
time.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm like, and the people, the 2 ladies who were sitting behind him, they always sat there. They are 2 living, by the way. Those 2 are still
They're still living?
Yes, they are.
Are you too still?
Solid reference.
Thank
Very
you, my
nice.
friend.
So
Appreciate
he's
that.
blocking
Shout out to the Grinch.
them from seeing me because they also sat on the 4th row, right in the middle.
So now they can't see.
They can't see that they're like,
He wants some money. They can't see it all. They're looking around him.
and I'm going, would you please sit down? Would you please sit down? And finally, he just got up and walked out because he didn't see his guy.
Wow. That's
So it was the weirdest.
We're out here.
That's bizarre.
Wow.
I see. In my, I think you've done a good job. We talked a little bit yesterday about establishing a culture at church. We've talked about it on the show before. I think you've done a great job of establishing a culture, and it's. I don't know if it's the culture is you better not do this. It's really more like I have no desire to stand up and talk to the pastor or interrupt the service. I think in my 13 years being here, I may have seen it done once, definitely, maybe twice, but I can't name like a second time.
Yeah.
The only time I can remember is, and it didn't happen, the preaching happened during communion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
yeah.
during communion, and I remember my mom was there. My mom would come, at that time she was only coming like once a month or so, and my mom was there, and I wasn't in there when it happened. My mom texted me, why did she just do that? Like with 5 question marks. And I was like, I better get in that sanctuary. So I remember coming in there, but she had stood up during the communion and said, I think this is a good time for me to share my
Yeah. I have
sorry.
something to share.
I have something to share.
In the middle
It's
of
my
communion,
testimony.
the plates are passing out. Dr. Shah is like praying over the food, or the bread and the
communion.
juice, and we're getting ready to pass it out. And that's when I want to share
Yeah.
something about my story.
Yeah, and maybe she had a story, and maybe she came from a church where it was okay and acceptable to do that, but not here because I don't. Plus, I don't know you.
Right.
I'm
exactly.
not sure who you are and what you're going to say.
Right.
I've had people once in a while say things when they came up to pray, but I know who they are. So usually they would come up and they come up and say, "Hey, what Pastor Shah said today really made a difference in my life." Well, okay,
That's pretty
fine.
common.
Yeah.
But I think, and I don't know, because I haven't been to a wide variety of churches. I think in my life I've only ever been to 3 or 4 that I've gone to regularly. I've visited, but never have I seen it be a commonplace thing where people would stand up and just begin talking.
When it was the push behind it too, like I don't have a choice but to share this. God told me I have to share this. Like, okay.
So that's something too. Maybe we can kind of talk about that. We got a few more minutes left, but how do you react to people who are like, God is telling, because there are some people who have come in and done this where it's like, God is telling me to do this outlandish thing.
It happens.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it happens in churches, and it's kind of sad because it is people who haven't walked with God, don't know God, and then they come to know Christ, and then all of a sudden they know God. And they feel like they have to make up for lost time. They feel like they need to just follow every urge, every inkling, anything, that little tap on the shoulder. They feel that I need to do something. God is telling me to do something. I better do something because all these years I didn't listen to God. Now I'm listening to God. I need to do something. And when they do that, I've had people really, I mean, it's like almost they lost their minds. So with people like that, I have to be careful, and in the sense I have to be kind to them and say, I hear what you're saying. Like one lady wanted to work with youth. And she felt like, and not like she wanted to work with you, it was more like, I feel for these children. My heart goes, I'm just crying. And I was like, I understand. I know it's God's giving you burden. Oh, no, you don't understand. I want to talk to them, and I want to explain to them. I think she was feeling a lot of remorse,
Right.
Maybe a lot of conviction over her past life. And so now she felt like, I need to stop these young people from making the same mistakes that I did. And as much as I understand and I feel for her, I didn't feel like that would help those young people.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying, because it's like I can understand and I can empathize, but that doesn't. I can't pretend to be on board.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And she got upset with me.
Wow.
She got upset because I was not letting her do something that obviously God was laying on her heart to do. And I'm thinking, I know, I'm grateful that God is moving you, but it just cannot be done.
Right.
And it was very frustrating. I've had other people do the same thing too.
Really?
Yeah, they want to sing.
And because God is telling them that they need to come sing.
And if they're good singers, of course, yes, get with the praise team. Get with them. Back in the day, we didn't have a praise team. We didn't have a choir. Well, we had a choir, but it was kind of like, anyways, it was there. You can join the choir.
Just some of the people in church.
Yeah, just you can join the choir and sing. But these people wanted to get up and say, God's laid this song on my heart, and I want to sing that to the congregation. And we used to have night of singing, and I would let some of them sing. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Like I remember this one lady singing "How Great Thou Art."
Oh no.
And she would throw her head back and sing.
No.
How great. I mean, and it
didn't sound good.
I wish it was good. It was horrible. And you have people, kids covering their faces,
Trying not to laugh.
and I'm over there going,
Yeah.
like, no, please.
That certainly is something.
That's the thing, is like I don't know if people do that on purpose or if it's just genuine emotion, like where they truly in their hearts feel that this is right, but people will attach so much meaning, especially to songs. I really feel you on that, because people still, I think to this day, they'll probably always do it, but it's always like, this song is so special. This song has transformed my life. And you hear it, it's like a Casting Crowns, like K-Love, like radio song that has no like it's a great song, has no problem with the song, but it's like 100% not appropriate for congregational worship.
This is not a song that we would sing in service.
No, even
not because it's inappropriate, just because it doesn't make sense.
It just does not make sense. Like, I love the way you hold me. I love the way you. We're not singing that in Sunday morning worship, but they're so attached to it.
Yeah,
and they truly feel God placed this song in my life, and you have to get on board with that, or else you're going against God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff like that. They want to start a ministry, and they want us to get 100% behind it. And I'm like, okay, I do want to support you in this ministry, but let's start small. Now, if I know the person and I know they have done this ministry for a while, and this will just kind of, weave in and just really take off, and people will get behind it, and you're not going to stop it once you get bored with it. Yeah, of course.
I think there's a lot of church goers who would listen to this episode and be like, "Wow, really? I didn't know y'all felt that way." And there's a lot of ministry leaders listening to this episode that's going, "Preach on, brother!
Say it louder
You are
for the
fighting
one in the balcony."
fight. You are fighting the good fight, Pastor."
I feel for people like that, and
Yeah.
I remind our pastors' friends, it's like, look, just love on them, but know at the end of the day, you have to please God.
That's right.
Yes.
And
That's right.
if this is going to make a mockery of that service, then stand your ground and say, no, I'm sorry. I'll tell you what, we're going to have a fellowship dinner coming up. If you want to do that, let's do that first and see how that goes, and then we can try it here.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Give them some steps to work through.
True. Very
Or
true.
there's nursing home ministry we have. I want you to come sing there, because people will give you, and also give you a chance to just learn the audience and see how it feels. And doing that once, they will realize, oh, I don't think I want to do this.
Right, right. Another wise thing that I think you've done, we talked about it yesterday, is you lay out your vision and your what do you call it? The mission and the vision and the core values. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You lay it out. It's on the wall for people to see when they walk in.
That's
so
right.
you always have that to fall back on. It says, listen, this goes against our core values, or this is not really a part of our vision here at Clearview. So I think that's a very wise move as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all about establishing that culture, because everything falls in line with that culture, and it helps drive the bus. It helps have a destination of where we're headed. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, write in and let us know, 252-582-5028, or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. Don't forget, you can partner with us financially on that same website. Scroll to the bottom, click that donate button, and let us know it's coming from our Clearview Today Show family. John, what do you want to plug as we end the episode today?
I want to plug Dr. Shah and Nicole's book, 30 Days of Praying for America, Daily Devotions to Heal Our Nations. We say this at the end of the episode, but this book I love saying it because I can't believe it's true. This book was given to President Trump himself. He has a copy of this book. There's no reason that you should not own a copy of this book right now. It's available on Amazon. You can also pick up our debut album, Heaven, Here, and Now, available on Spotify, iTunes, Rhapsody, Amazon Music, and anywhere digital music is sold.
That's right. Lots of great content coming your way the rest of this week. Make sure you guys tune in. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Clearview Today.